welcome to the Spring 2011 Student Show. Hello, my name is Mitch. I was born and raised in Santa Cruz, California. So I'm the student intern here at the Atkinson Gallery. This year for the student show we had about 220 pieces that were submitted and 96 of them made it into the show. So when the juror came in to judge the show, we had all 220 pieces set out in the gallery space here in different categories. Once all the pieces were chosen upon, it was Dane and I's job to assemble them and hang this room and install the artwork and transform the gallery into a show space so that the viewer can read the gallery as they walk through it. Each piece can sort of direct you to the next one. As the student intern here, I also get the opportunity to submit some art for the student show that does get judged upon just like everyone else's. The juror had no idea this was my art, though she was drinking coffee out of a mug that I made at the time. I was laughing to myself quite a bit about that. But fortunately she did choose this piece. It really stood out to her, and she gave it one of the 5 Jurors Awards. So as an aspiring student, I do wish to continue to go through school. Since I am totally involved with the ceramic medium, I do want to go to a school that's going to challenge me and provide new insight to the medium.
My name is Sarah Zanthegas, and I am from Santa Barbara my entire life. And what made me enter the show was actually my printmaking teacher, Stephanie Dotson. It was a personal project, so I was working on it in class, and it's just a small book with collage illustrations using the words on the page, and it was an old book of poems, so it had some really interesting adjectives and stuff to work with in there. And so she oversaw me working on the project, and I decided to enter. So it started off as just this small book of poems, and actually got a lot of my pictures from just like different magazines, like National Geographic had some really interesting ones in there, and so I would make a collage on each page using the words on the page as well as the images. In the future, I plan to go to Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle. As far as professional goals, I think, especially in my printmaking class, I've realized that I really want to stick with a more studio art rather than graphic design, which is my major, because it's really a passion of mine and really brings me joy in life. And I'd rather incorporate that in my career, so wherever life takes me.
My name is Charlie, and I'm from Norwich, Vermont. The reason I entered the show was just for the experience of entering a piece in a show. This is my first time I've entered a piece in a show like this, and I just did it more for the experience, you know, to experience the rejection. In this situation, I didn't experience the rejection, but I got my piece in the show. So my influence in this piece was actually, it's something from a dream that I had. It sort of represents, I think, sort of the same thing to everybody. It's sort of that place that you don't want to go, but maybe that you need to go. I guess where I would like to go from here is to be able to do this and make a living at it. I've always worked with my hands. I love working with my hands. It's sort of the way I express myself, and to be able to do that in a form that people can enjoy and get something out of, that's really what's valuable to me. And then if I can obviously make a living doing it, then that's ideal.
Hi, my name is Inga, and I'm born in Lithuania. I grew up in Germany, and now I live here in Santa Barbara. I entered this show hoping to share my ideas in the form of art with other people and show what I can do and what I think in a different language, which is art. My piece is made out of recycled skateboards. What I do is I cut the skateboards apart and I put them back together, creating something that doesn't look like a skateboard anymore, but a fictional character. And here it is. I get my inspiration from pop cultural designs and street art and everyday life experiences, meeting new people, and that's where it comes from. The reason why I use recycled skateboard is because I love the designs on the skateboard, the pop cultural designs, and they are very significant for the characters that I create and the way I create them. To me, the designs are like, the old designs on the skateboards are like books that capture the art history or design history, and they give my pieces the character, and me creating the characters gives them the personality. This is like my own language. I did win a little scholarship, the Sculpture Excellence Scholarship, and the Juris Award for this piece. And my future plans are to transfer to possibly San Francisco Art Institute, but before that I would like to go to Europe and try to make some art there as a professional artist in Switzerland, but also Germany, and hopefully have an exhibit there.
My name is Andre from Brooklyn, New York. I entered 2 pieces in our student show at SBCC this year. The first is a silkscreen series titled The Irony in Melanin. The second is a self-portrait behind me. It's called A Lesson in Cognitive Dissonance. A Lesson in Cognitive Dissonance is a photography experiment. Visually, I wanted to convey the idea of wrestling with dualities that we experience. I think visually that idea comes through considering there's a dark and light side. The frame is split in half. The figure here represents any person. I think any person can empathize with feeling at both ends of the human emotional spectrum. It is a self-portrait in some sense, but not only a self-portrait of myself, but a portrait of people. Melanin is a chemical compound. It's what's seen as skin pigment in human beings globally. The idea is repeating this image, repeating the idea of melanin, a very small chemical compound, to the point of meaninglessness, similar to the way that Andy Warhol did with his Marilyn prints. Allowing people to take a print away is a means of allowing the viewer to reflect on the idea and ultimately throw that print away, disregarding the idea of melanin being something that would allow people to look at each other differently. I think is pretty powerful. I'm looking to transfer to a school to complete a bachelor's degree. I would like to take advantage of any study abroad programs that any school that I would transfer to would have, as I do feel like there is a global implication for the work that I create.
Hi, I'm Dane Goodman. I'm the director of Atkinson Gallery. I'd like to thank all the students who entered this show and all the students who got in the show. I want to give congratulations to. It's an extraordinary exhibition and the response has been tremendous. I'd like to encourage students in the future to enter this competition, to have your work seen. It's a great way to get exposure, and we actually sell works out of this show, so please enter next year.